Good morning, Your Grace. It is 11:30. I have taken the liberty of bringing you your breakfast. My name is Hartley. I am the valet your father hired on your behalf. Oh, no, Your Grace. You need not worry. It is already sorted out. I am technically under your father's employment, and as such he has already taken care of my salary and boarding arrangements, so I can begin work immediately. My work hours are from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. on weekdays. From the moment you rise to the moment you retire for the evening, I will be available to ensure everything runs smoothly. As your valet, I will be responsible for cooking your meals, procuring groceries, preparing your clothes for the day, and cleaning your apartment. If it is to your liking, I can also provide cosmetic services such as washing and treating your hair, or providing nail care. Before I undertook this profession, I trained to be a tailor, and as such I'm quite skilled at mending and sewing, should you need it. Yes, I've already been made aware of your dietary needs, as well as your clothing and shoe sizes. As for the rest, I would be happy to quiz you later on your exact preferences once you're feeling a little better. I have no doubt that I will have them memorized in no time. In the meantime, you will find I'm excellent at anticipating the needs of others. I'm sorry to say that I am incapable of silencing the birds, no matter how insufferably cheerful they sound. I understand you've had quite the evening out, so I've brought you something that will be a bit gentler on your stomach than your customary mimosa and croque madame. Do you require assistance getting out of bed? Far be it from me to contradict your desires, Your Grace, but leaving you to die in peace would go against everything I stand for. Valet's code of honor, you know. Besides, it was rather a lot of work getting you into bed in the first place. You don't remember? Shall I refresh you while you have your breakfast? Of course, whether I stay in this room or leave you alone in misery is entirely at your discretion. It is not my place to object. The terms of my resignation, I'm afraid, is something you'll have to discuss with your father. I'd be remiss if I did not at least let you have a look at your breakfast, just to see if it is up to your surely exacting standards. Thank you, Your Grace. Given your wan state, I would normally be happy to serve it to you in bed, but you seem to be lacking a proper breakfast tray. I will be sure to purchase one at the soonest convenience. I've brought a pair of sunglasses, so the morning light will not dazzle you. Shall I fetch Your Grace a robe? Allow me, then. Here, take my arm, Your Grace. Very good. On your feet. And it's just over here on the breakfast table. Voila. Sparkling ice water, 2 aspirin, dandelion root tea, and a bowl of miso soup with green onions, potatoes, and leeks. Bon appetit. If this succeeds in rousing your appetite, I should be happy to prepare you something a little more substantial afterwards. Were you expecting a bit of the hair of the dog? No, I would not punish you so, Your Grace. Hydration, food, and painkillers will sort you out worlds better than chugging some vile concoction. I'm not of the school of thought that remedies for eventful evenings should be gruesome. The morning after my 18th birthday celebration, my father made me drink a concoction of raw eggs, Worcester sauce, cinnamon, and a measure of gin. I don't remember it fondly. That experience taught me that gentler remedies work best. That particular tea aids in digestion as well as liver function, and the soup will help you replenish electrolytes. It is a combination I've used myself to great success in the past. Please enjoy. While you eat, I will lay out your clothes for the day. Oh, yes, I promised I would fill the blanks in your memory, did I not? Let us see to your wardrobe first, if you would. Let's see. Would your grace care to wear the khakis with a breezy linen shirt today? Or perhaps the black trousers and burgundy shirt? Sandals or loafers? Yes. Very good. And how is your breakfast? Is it to your grace's liking? Wonderful. I'm so glad to hear it. When you are finished eating, I will draw you a bath. Yes, it is difficult living alone at times, isn't it? It is my pleasure to be of service. To return to your earlier question, Riley and I found you in quite the dishevelled state in the courtyard this morning. You were sound asleep, half immersed in a bush and covered in dew. The whole situation was so strange that I feel I must ask, for the benefit of your health, of course, what on earth happened? It's a wonder you did not catch a chill. I'm afraid I'm not familiar with that game, Your Grace. Cards, I assume? I see. For every card you lost, you or your playing partner had to sample from an assortment of miniature liquor bottles. Go on. Oh, merciful heavens. You had that many. I'm impressed that your grace managed to stagger as far as the courtyard. I see. That was rather noble of you, rescuing your partner from embarrassment like that, especially when it is not your habit to indulge to such an extent. As someone with a low tolerance for alcohol myself, I can appreciate your kindness and fortitude in the face of such a sadistic group of card players. Oh, you need not worry. To my knowledge, no one else came across you in the courtyard, and Riley certainly will not tell a soul. As for my discretion, that goes without saying. Oh, how remiss of me. That is Riley, curled up at the foot of your grace's bed. She is my service dog. Why, yes, I am quite serious. We are a matched set. If I am your gentleperson's gentleman, then Riley is your gentleperson's gentleman's gentle dog, I suppose. I owe her the world. I beg your pardon, Your Grace. It's not customary of me to negate the opinion of my client, but in this matter I must object. I would never allow a beast into your home, and she does not shed. As a matter of fact, I had her professionally groomed just yesterday in preparation for our arrival here. Riley is an intelligent, obedient, standard poodle with several years of rigorous training under her belt. I assure you she does not bite, bark excessively, or make messes. Furthermore, she's the key to my independence and safety. If you disapprove of her presence, then I'm afraid our working relationship must end here. Oh, I see. Apology accepted, of course. I was not informed that larger dogs made you nervous. That's certainly something that ought to have been in the brief your father gave me. I am sorry, Your Grace. Your father owned mastiffs. You were 7 years old. Say no more. It is no wonder you reacted strongly. I'm not one to disparage any dog breed, only inept dog owners. From what you have told me, it is becoming abundantly clear that your father owned them solely for the status and intimidation they provided. How unfortunate. Given that your father knew all about Riley, I would have thought he would have mentioned that you... Well, I am terribly sorry. There must have been some mistake. Does your grace mean to imply that he hired me as some kind of joke? Why, Well, I cannot say whether I can agree or not. I know even less of your father than I do of you. I have, however, been the victim of enough cruel pranks not to be surprised if it was his intention all along to make a laughingstock out of both of us. Normally I would not divulge such details, but given the situation, I feel I must be frank. After we discussed my credentials and terms, your father told me about you. He said you were a typical wealthy man's scion. Selfish, lazy, a layabout, prone to drinking and partying and spending your monthly stipends frivolously. Yes, at the time, I optimistically thought he meant to hire me so that I should lend some much-needed quiet and orderliness to your home, so that you might have the proper surroundings to focus on more productive undertakings. Well, now I suspect he rather hoped to hire me as something of a babysitter. I must admit, when I arrived here, I didn't carry the most flattering first impression of you. But I have met selfish, lazy layabouts. I have worked for them. And your grace seems very little like how your father described. You are clearly kind to others, and receptive to kindness. You apologized for your misgivings about Riley. And in spite of waking up under extremely surprising circumstances, with a stranger wandering about your bedchambers, you reacted to a baffling situation with exceptional grace, all things considered. Are you in need of a babysitter? I think not. Even in the small amount of time I've known you, it is clear that you are not a child, any more than I am a nanny. However, I do think you are in need of a valet. You seem rather in need of the sort of care and companionship that I provide, Your Grace, if you don't mind me saying so. The unfortunate state of your pantry alone is enough to convince me of that. And as for the rest of your abode, while neatness is no accurate judge of moral character, it does worry me seeing Your Grace live like this. Perhaps it is the stubborn streak in me, but I would like to endeavour to make this work, if possible. I truly believe my services would benefit Your Grace in the long run, and should this arrangement prove successful, I rather think it should rankle anyone who may have set us up to fail. Would you not agree? As you said before, it can be difficult living alone. Things pile up. I could lessen that burden for you. Of course, it is up to Your Grace's discretion. Allow me to tell you a little about us before you make your decision. I was diagnosed with epilepsy when I was 21. My case is mild compared to some of my relatives, but it was decided early on I would benefit from having a service dog. Enter Riley. In my 8 years of valet service, not once has my condition resulted in a dismissal. Extensive journaling and research on my part over the years has made it so that I more or less know what triggers a serious attack, and fortunately they tend to be few and far between. As long as I rest, take my medication, and have Riley to assist me, I'm capable of providing the same quality of service as anyone, if not more. She is incredibly useful, an absolute boon, in fact. She knows hundreds of words and commands. Many of them are for my benefit, but with a little work, there are many that you could make use of as well, should you wish to. Indeed, I encourage it. Riley is people-oriented, eager to learn, and extremely loyal. In short, she is perfect for the service industry. Also, there is something that some people don't realize about poodles. She becomes rather anxious and depressed if she doesn't have enough to do. It is a trait we share, if I may be honest with your grace. Therefore, we would both be thrilled if you made use of us. It is what we are put on this earth for. Well, she knows the basics, of course. Sit, stand, down. No, Riley, you needn't demonstrate, but thank you, my love. She's learned circle, which is useful in crowded streets or markets. If needed, she'll create a bit of breathing space for me by walking in a circle around me. She also knows a technique known as deep tissue pressure, where if needed, she'll lie down on my chest should I find myself in the grip of a seizure. She knows to lead me away from certain triggers, such as flashing lights or places with strong smells. Should I show symptoms of distress, she knows how to check on me and fetch my medication if it's not within reach. There's not been a need for her to do such things for quite some time, thankfully, but knowing that she's capable of helping me at a moment's notice is an indescribable comfort. In our years together, she's alerted me about a handful of other people and their symptoms as well. It's not something I taught her how to do, but she's sensed high blood sugar levels in diabetics before, for example. As for everyday, non-medical commands, Riley can turn on light switches, open doors. She can even assist in tidying up a room, as long as there's a basket to place objects in. She also regularly helps me find missing things. Everything from the location of the car in a crowded car park to a dropped pair of cufflinks. With a little training, I could add commonly misplaced objects of yours to her repertoire. Of course, I do restrict her access to the kitchen. I keep her immaculately groomed, and she's too well trained to make off with any of my ingredients. But the second I get out the bacon or some gizzards, she gives me the saddest eyes. I know these circumstances are a little unusual, but knowing what you know, Your Grace would like to give us a chance. Oh, that is wonderful to hear. In that case, would you care to let Riley sniff your hand? Given how much you have understandably avoided dogs, I would not be surprised if you were not aware. It is her way of getting to know you. Oh, you need not force yourself to, of course, if the idea is too uncomfortable. Very good, Your Grace. Riley, here. Good girl. I'm sure she can sense that you are a little bit nervous, but no, she would not interpret that as a threat. See her relaxed posture and wagging tail. She's curious about you. All you need to do is show her your hand for a moment or two. She will not lick you. I taught her better manners than that. There we are. Now she knows your scent. Have you ever pet a dog before, Your Grace? You can, if you want to. She particularly enjoys being scratched behind the ears. She is soft, isn't she? Oh, I could pet her for hours. There go her eyes, glazing over. Your Grace, you are a natural. All right, Ripley, go lie back down. That's a good girl. You did very well, Your Grace. Of course she likes you. I dare say there is a lot to like. It is as promising a sign as any that you and I will make a fine match. It looks like you've finished your breakfast. In that case, I will away and draw you that bath. Good afternoon, Your Grace. Was the bath to your liking? I am pleased to hear it. Yes. While you were sleeping, I had the opportunity to go to Hoffman's Market and fetch the ingredients for your breakfast. While I was there, I picked up a bag of Epsom salts. I was not sure of your preferred scent, so I picked the citrus one on spec. In my experience, it is the most revitalizing of Royal Organics' Back to Nature series. How are you feeling, by the way? Any improvement? Oh, that is a relief, Your Grace. I must admit, your colour is looking much better. I'm happy to hear the salts did their job. No, I do not typically arrive at my clients' domiciles with an arsenal of teas and soup and the like, but I was warned beforehand that you might be feeling a little under the weather from your night out, and so I thought it best to come prepared. Your Grace is correct. I imagine the Epsom salts would work well for treating a cold. Oh, I cannot say for sure. I never catch colds. While you were soaking, I made a list of bulk items for restocking your pantry. If you like, we can discuss the sorts of meals you prefer, and then I should have a better idea of what perishables I should begin purchasing on a regular basis. Oh, I hardly mind heading out again. My last employer had me running to the shops upwards of 3 times a day. I've grown quite used to arriving early so as to procure the freshest seafood and produce. Please let me know if there are other shops Your Grace would like me to visit, by the way. Though I haven't had the opportunity yet to acquaint myself with many of the other shops in your area, I'm aware Hoffman's selection can be a little niche. If you could also tell me about your favorite delicatessens, patisseries, restaurants, and cafes, I can also make regular stops at those places. My apologies. I am inundating you with choices. Sometimes I can become rather single-minded when I have a task at hand. I merely thought, since you have lived here for so much longer than I have, you may have a better idea of... Forgive my confusion, but are you saying that you have no meal preferences at all? No, I suppose it makes perfect sense. How would you know where to begin if it is Your Grace's habit to subsist almost entirely on takeaway pub fare and bottles of Huel? Oh, no. It is quite all right. There's no need to apologize for being unable to provide a list of shops for me. It was never my intention to overwhelm or embarrass you. I simply had no idea you spent so much time at home, given your social proclivities. I see. Your weekly card games are the only time you leave your flat. Well, that explains Your Grace's choice in food options. Well then, if you have no preferred shops, this simplifies my job quite a bit if you are willing to let me take a few liberties with the grocery list. Oh. An unusual request. I mean, of course, you may come along shopping with me if Your Grace feels up to the walk. It would be unforgivable of me if I were to allow you to overexert yourself when you are still on the mend. This is rather unusual, I admit. None of my charges have ever asked to accompany me before. Oh, you need not worry. I'm hardly opposed to the idea. We can explore the shops together. Perhaps it will inspire you to think up some meals I could prepare for you. I am capable of putting together a wide variety of meals, but I admit that a little direction from you in that matter would be most welcome, if only to narrow down my options a bit. Who knows what the future holds? Perhaps your grace may discover the exotic pleasure of eating a vegetable. Besides, it's a beautiful day out. I was thinking of driving to the farmer's market before it closes for the week, followed by a trip to one of the larger supermarkets, if that is agreeable. Wonderful. Done with the tidying. Nothing like the look of sunlight on sparkling clean countertops, Let me just get Riley into her harness, and then we can be off. How are you feeling, Your Grace? Your headache has not returned, I hope? Good. Please let me know if you see a stall that piques your interest. Yes, Riley loves farmers' markets. There are so many other dogs out and about today. She's too well behaved to be social while on duty, of course, but I had the occasion yesterday to visit a stall here that sells brisket beef jerky, and if she's a particularly good girl, and she always is, I'll purchase another packet and let her have some when we get home. We arrived in your city only 2 days ago. The agency I work for makes arrangements for our living quarters when necessary, when we are not working in residence. Given the unusual circumstances under which your father hired me, they thought it best to set us up in a nearby hotel for the time being. Well, had your grace decided that you were not in need of a valet services, the agency would have simply assigned me elsewhere. But since that is not the case, it seems I shall need to begin looking for an apartment in the area. I did not wish to assume your living preferences. Sharing your apartment would make it easier for us to do many tasks, not to mention save me a great deal of driving, but either option is perfectly feasible, I assure you. Should you decide in future that Riley and I are compatible with you in that regard, I should be happy to move us into your home. For the time being, I find myself greatly enjoying getting to know your town. Oh, good, a dog watering station. Riley, are you thirsty? Come on, dear, this way. Take a drink. There we are, that's better. Good. Oh no, I don't think the life of a service dog wears on her unduly. As I mentioned before, she's happy to serve. Most dogs have a natural temperament for it. They are more at ease when they know what others want. Riley will regularly do many commands on her own, whether or not I actually ask it of her. I give her plenty of time for leisure and socialization. I walk her often, and while she isn't overly fond of loud children, she usually enjoys meeting new people, especially if they are walking their dogs as well. Yes, in my previous residence, we lived near an excellent dog park. On pleasant days like this one, I'd find a shady bench under a tree, take her vest off, and let her go be a normal poodle for a little while. We'll have to see if our new accommodations include somewhere my darling can make some new friends. Perhaps a kennel club. Is the kebab stand tempting your appetite? Allow me to purchase some... No, let me, please. If your grace insists, although I will say you do not owe me a thing in exchange for this morning. It was my pleasure to assist, and more importantly, my restorative breakfasts and fancy baths now are your exclusive privileges. I have a chicken tikka skewer and a bottle of water, thank you. And what luck. An empty table. Oh, just a moment, please. Riley? Closer, please. Stay. Good girl. Do you see something unusual, Your Grace? Yes, I keep food-safe gloves as part of my emergency kit. You are welcome to a pair if you like. Very well. Please know that I also have wet wipes, should you need them. So, you enjoy kebabs then, Your Grace? I know how to make excellent ahi tuna skewers with a sesame ginger glaze, or if you prefer a more Mediterranean flavour, I can prepare chicken kebabs with char-grilled vegetables and a tzatziki dipping sauce. Oh, Riley, I'm sorry. Look at those sad eyes. I forgot about the sauce. These are too spicy for you, my love. I can't give you a piece. No, you need not trouble yourself. She'll be fine. There is no need for you to give her any of yours, Your Grace. If that is your wish, then yes, please do. Steak is her favourite. Riley, go to Your Grace. Sit. Good girl. She won't snap at your fingers. Don't worry, she's very polite. Just hold it out for her. She knows how to be gentle. Oh, very good. She'll adore you forever now. Better not give her more than 2 pieces. She has a healthy, balanced lunch waiting for her at home. But thank you. Truly. That took courage, and it was very sweet of you. Lie down now, Riley. There's a girl. Tell me something, if you would indulge my curiosity. Why is it that you play cards with these associates of yours each week? From the way you described them this morning, they seem to have rather insouciant dispositions that are not in keeping with your generous nature. I see. I know exactly what Your Grace means. I had many such casual acquaintances when I attended university. There were some fellows in my dorm who enjoyed playing hearts every Saturday. I don't believe anyone there ever so much as remembered my name, but they were amusing company for a time. So it has become your custom to continue playing games of chance with this group, even though you yourself are no longer attending any classes? Oh, please don't misunderstand. There is no shame in taking some time away from your educational pursuits, Your Grace, especially if you are trying to figure out the direction you want to take your life. Yes, I took a similar leave of absence shortly after my epilepsy diagnosis. Once I grew accustomed to my new lifestyle, I came to the decision that I should also change my subject of study. Originally, I had planned on pursuing a degree in hotel administration. While doubtlessly rewarding, I found it a little too business-oriented. I felt as though I wasn't serving where I was truly needed, and so I made the decision to redirect my efforts towards the study of hospitality, and I've been a happier man for it. But I digress. I'm not one to interfere in the social affairs of my clients, unless it coincides with their wishes. Would I be incorrect in assuming that perhaps Your Grace might be open to some suggestions in this matter? Then I shall be frank. I cannot help but think that your fraternization with these individuals seems rather painfully obligatory. You are miserable when you talk about them. I see it on your face and I hear it in your voice. If there is one thing I have learned, it is that you do not have to waste your time and energy on people who mistreat you. If Your Grace would like the opportunity for better companionship, you only need to ask. I mean, there are social events I could direct you towards. Art shows, museum exhibits, movie screenings, even gym classes, if that is to your liking. Surely your grace can find better company than myself. The whole point is to get oneself out there, meet new people, engage with the wide world around you. I understand that such endeavors can be difficult to manage by oneself. In that case, I will consider it my solemn pleasure to accompany you to the art museum. I've been looking forward to visiting, especially as the arts and leisure section of your local newspaper tells me that they have a delightfully macabre Ivan Albright collection on display at the moment. Thank you for the chicken. It was delicious. Let me tidy up our table, and then we can continue our walk. I believe I spotted a tent serving fresh scones that I wouldn't mind taking a closer look at. Of course, Your Grace. You need not thank me. It has been no trouble at all accompanying you on your constitutionals this past week. I understand that solitary excursions are not everyone's cup of tea. Some activities are simply more satisfying with company. And, as I believe I've mentioned, Riley hardly objects to going on an extra jaunt, especially on such a lovely street as this. How have these walks been treating you? Have you been feeling any better? That is wonderful news, Your Grace. I know how difficult it can be to rise from your bed when every inch of you protests even the slightest excursion, but I am proud of you for doing so. No, I am being sincere, Your Grace. Such self-deprecation is highly uncalled for. Believe me when I say there is no shame in just walking to the shops and back. We are stretching our legs and enjoying the day, not training for a marathon. Unless this is your subtle way of telling me that Your Grace would like to join a marathon. I stand corrected. If walking 3 blocks is what you feel comfortable with, then that is all we need do. The fresh air, sunshine, and increased circulation will do wonders for your mood and immune system, regardless of the actual length of the journey. If you don't mind me saying so, it is heartening to see you looking a bit more lively. You've only been at it a week, and already you scarcely resemble the one unhappy version of yourself I met almost a month ago. Yes, it is rather exasperating to learn that there exists a kernel of truth in all that rot about exercise being good for you, isn't it? You have no idea how many health nuts have insisted I could cure my epilepsy if I simply did enough yoga. I used to struggle quite a bit with fatigue. I still do occasionally, although not nearly to the degree I did when I was first diagnosed. So, imagine my irritation when I learned that taking regular walks actually increased my energy levels. Oh, I was furious. So, yes, I know exactly how Your Grace feels. The exhaustion was terrible, especially during my time at university. I grew afraid of tidying the house or doing groceries or doing anything that might make me feel so utterly wretched and worn down. Sometimes I'd make myself try, and then I would end up in bed for days. Are you saying that this level of fatigue sounds familiar? No, Your Grace, it is not normal to sleep for 15 hours straight after your exams and still feel exhausted. It is not normal to sleep that much at all. Have you ever spoken to a physician about it? My dear, even if you are just depressed, as you put it, that doesn't mean you don't deserve comfort and care. It's no wonder you've had such a difficult time. Your brain is a living organ. It needs attention and treatment just as much as your heart or liver. It is imperative that we arrange an appointment for you when we return home." "Yes, I do insist, Your Grace. It is of the utmost importance. You need not fear. I will help you every step of the way. The process may seem daunting, but I have done it all before." Yes, where was I? When my exhaustion made me struggle to keep up with my studies, I took that extended break I told you about. It was good for me in lots of ways. I learned that overwork and a lack of sleep exacerbated my symptoms, and a sleep study showed that it was actually causing me to have seizures as I dreamed. Horrifying, yes. I expected my doctor to order me to get more rest. Instead, she surprised me by cautioning me against sleeping too much. It rankled at first. I thought she was about to launch into a lecture about laziness, but she emphasized that while rest was important, oversleeping would actually make the fatigue much worse. Yes, I know. One of life's sordid little jokes. She maintained that it was crucial for my health that I move around at least a little bit each day, even if it was only walking around the garden for a few minutes. There were days when that was all I could manage, but I did find that I felt significantly better than if I had let myself succumb to temptations of an afternoon nap. It was around then that I found Riley, and she was essential for helping me learn more about my condition. When your body feels as though it may fall apart at any moment, it is a precious, indescribable comfort having a dog who can instantly spot all the signs of a bad episode and knows how to provide assistance. Thanks to her, I grew confident enough to attempt short strolls. They are necessary, after all, when you have an easily bored, high-energy poodle to care for. Seeing her happy and fulfilled made getting out of the house worth it, even on the difficult days. In time, I was able to put my life back together and pursue a career that has brought me more enjoyment than I ever thought possible. I've been privileged to meet and work with some incredible people. And now I work for you. Why do you say it like that? Everyone has their problems, Your Grace, and yours are no burden to me. It is true that most of my clients prefer that I intuitively know their needs, and I will admit that learning their proclivities is one of my favorite things about this profession, but there's nothing wrong with not instantly knowing what you want. No two households are alike, after all, and you have all the time in the world to figure out your preferences. I find that I reinvent myself just a little bit with every new charge I take. Some prefer me to be jovial and chatty. Others prefer that I wear a mask of courteous professionalism. I'm happy to become whatever they need. But with you, I'm finding I'm simply myself. It is most unusual. Everything about this job is unusual. I think that I quite enjoy it. Well, for one thing, I am accustomed to my clients expecting first-rate quality when it comes to my cooking. It is seldom they should ever express delight, or even surprise. But to hear you rave about this morning's breakfast, well, you're certainly a joy to cook for. If I succeed in weaning you off the Huel beverages, I may consider opening a restaurant. I hope that Your Grace does not think me rude for saying so, but I was also rather surprised that you were willing to tolerate Riley's presence in your home. I've not met many people who would be willing to show such patience and understanding regarding an animal that causes them no small amount of dread. It would have been all too easy for you to dismiss us then and there. I know that your fear is a difficult thing to overcome. I only hope that you are aware of how much I appreciate that you are even trying. No, I do not think that she takes offence that you give her a wide berth on our walks. I understand that it will take your Grace some time to adjust. It need not happen overnight. Oh, of course Riley likes you. She brought you your slippers yesterday evening without my prompting, did she not? I will let your Grace in on a little secret. She usually only does that with me. This is such a quaint neighborhood. So many trees, and all of them in autumn's full flame. The last place I lived wasn't half as picturesque. I would not say it's difficult, moving around so much. I am accustomed to it. Growing up, it was a necessity for my father's job, and now it is a necessity for mine. Oh, my father worked as a hydrographic surveyor. He studied currents and tides and made maps of different seabeds, and he had high hopes of me following in his footsteps. Did you imagine I came from a family of valets, Your Grace? What a charming mental image. Sadly, no. My father finds my life's calling a bit too servile for his liking. I've tried to explain that there is nothing unseemly about tending to another's wants and needs, but he refuses to listen to reason. Yes, it is difficult acting against a father's wishes, even at my age. But this is what brings me happiness. I made it clear that he could accept my choice or deny himself the pleasure of my visits. It was not an easy conversation, no, but it was a necessary one. He still takes great joy in grousing about it. I don't think I'll ever stop him doing that, but it lacks the same energy as before. He knows he will never convince me to leave my profession, any more than I can make him approve of it. It is not an ideal situation, no, but so long as he no longer demands that I drop my silly nonsense and take up drawing maps, I'm content. It is difficult for many people to speak to their parents that way. From what little I know of your father, I imagine your Grace has a harder time than most. But should you find yourself discouraged, I am living proof that such intimidating endeavors are indeed possible. We're almost home. Was there anything in particular your Grace would like me to prepare for lunch? Perhaps a light garden salad to start, then garlic chicken crepes in a Gruyere bechamel sauce and a side of asparagus? We could pair it with that champagne you picked. Your Grace, please, do not look so glum. You have not yet tried my asparagus. I'm pleased that we managed to get your doctor's appointment squared away. I have found that can sometimes be one of the most difficult parts of the process. I often feel as though a weight has been lifted off my shoulders after I've scheduled mine. I believe dessert is just about done. Easy go. It's all right. No, do not trouble yourself, Your Grace. Allow me. Who the hell are you? The valet, sir. What the fuck? Am I at the right flat? I cannot say. Are you? No, it's the right number. Holy shit, it's so clean, I didn't recognise the place. Is there something I can help you with, sir? Not unless you got 50 quid on you, Jeeves. If you are soliciting charity, may I instead direct you towards St. Cuthbert's Church Hall? Or if you seek guidance in general regarding the disappointing direction your life has taken, the local Citizens Advice Bureau is open from 10 to 4 p.m. on weekdays. Oh, you're a riot, you are. Just let me past. I did not grant you permission to enter. Yeah, obey your betters, you poncy git. Any more starch and the rod up your arse will snap. There you are. I've been searching high and low for you all week. Since when do you have a bloody butler? Or a dog? I thought you hated dogs. What are you doing? Just sitting there gaping like a fish for... Shut that mutt up, will you? Your Grace is not receiving visitors. I must ask you to leave. Your Grace? Do you make him call you that or what? Daddy's lessons finally getting to you then. I said you need to leave. Let go of my wrist, you overdressed pillock. We needed you at cards last Friday. The lads and I lost fucking everything. And I still owe Johnson for drinks, and you know how he gets if he thinks you forgot to pay him back. All I need is like 90, maybe 100 quid for this weekend. I know you got it. No. What do you mean no? You're daft if you think I'm leaving here without my money. Riley, back. Stay there. Did that mongrel just snarl at me? Oh, that's what you get for no pedigree. Useless fucking mutt. Kinda like you, ain't it, mate? You don't know your place unless someone else beats it into you, I reckon. Get out. Are you just gonna sit there and let the fucking help talk to me like that? Whoa. Hey, whoa, I was joking. Fine, I'm going. Just give me the money you owe me and... Fucking posh arsehole. And stay out. Riley, quiet now. Settle. Good. Stay. Your Grace? Your Grace? Having a panic attack. Here, Your Grace. Sit with me. Shh, I know. Just take my hands. Grip them tightly. Squeeze. Yes. Don't apologize. Don't think about that right now. I need you to breathe deeply, in and out. Can you do that for me? Yes? Just follow my breathing. In. 1, 2, 3. Out. 1, 2, 3. Good. Again. In. Out. That's good. That's all I need you to focus on. Keep breathing with me. In. And out. In. And out. Concentrate on each breath. Very good, Your Grace. Listen to me. The danger is gone. He left and I locked the door. You are safe. None of that. You don't owe me any explanations or apologies. Had our positions been reversed, I would have frozen up as well. All that matters is that you stood up to a beastly man, and now he is gone. I'm fine, Your Grace. He barely touched me. And Riley's all right. A little shaken up, perhaps. She's concerned about you, but she's being very good and staying put. If you prefer, I could move her to another room. Very well. She can stay, then. I'm going to get you a glass of water. Is that all right? I'll just be a moment. The chocolate creme brulees are done. You evicted him just in time. Well done. Here you are, Your Grace. Drink up. While I should be happy to sit with Your Grace at the kitchen table, I hardly mind joining you on the floor like this. We are fortunate that I swept and dusted just this morning. If you are still in the mood for sweets after all that, simply say the word and I shall take your brulee out of the icebox and put on a pot of tea. Oh, and look at our Riley. So patient, such a good girl. Yes. She's waiting for permission to come and see you. She wants to be certain you're all right. Dogs shake themselves like that for much the same reason you might shudder after experiencing a sudden thrill. A trainer once described it to me as shaking off the bad vibes. It's her way of letting you know she feels more relaxed now and is comfortable with being approached. Were I to allow her to come near, she would sniff you for a moment or two just to check you over. She might lick your hands if permitted. Then she'll likely wish to sit near you for a time, but she won't pounce or climb on you. She knows not to do that. Oh, yes. She would enjoy it very much if you petted her. And studies show that cuddling a pet is beneficial for us humans as well. It lowers blood pressure and reduces feelings of loneliness and anxiety. There's nothing quite like experiencing the simple, unquestioning affection of a dog. Are you certain you're comfortable with her coming over, Your Grace? You need not force yourself. Very well. Here, Riley. There's a love. Oh, she's leaning on you. Yes, it means she's very fond of you. Dogs lean on those they trust and crave affection from. It can also mean that she wishes to guard you by putting herself between you and the rest of the world. She's done the same for me on difficult nights. Of course it's all right. Come here. I'm here for you, Your Grace. Hello, Your Grace. Yes, Riley is in high spirits today. While you were at your appointment, I took her for a short romp at the park. Someone left their frisbee behind, so we had occasion to play several games of fetch. I also took the liberty of acquiring your favorite drink from the cafe down the street. Please, enjoy. Oh, no, it's no trouble at all. I know I feel better indulging in a treat after visiting the doctor, and if you don't mind me saying so, the look on your face is strongly telling me that you could use the extra comfort. I see. I am terribly sorry to hear that, Your Grace. Chronic fatigue syndrome is not an easy condition to deal with, but we shall persevere. And I must point out, you have already accomplished a great deal in the past weeks. Was I correct in assuming Dr. Willis would be favorably impressed with news of your daily breakfasts and regular walks? I rather thought she would be. What has she recommended for you? Yes, it is not uncommon for medical practitioners to prescribe antidepressants as treatment. My physician currently has me on that medication as well, for all I show no signs of clinical depression. He explained to me that the same neurotransmitters responsible for causing mood disorders can also cause chronic fatigue, and the two conditions do often go hand in hand. Dr. Willis said that, did she? Then I am doubly glad you arranged this appointment. I was reluctant to assume, but given your lifestyle prior to my arrival, I did wonder if perhaps your depression was more than simply situational. There is no shame in having a diagnosis, Your Grace. You would not similarly berate yourself for not being able to walk on a broken leg, would you? As I have said before, your brain deserves treatment just as much as any other part of you. And you have already taken great strides toward improvement, simply by endeavoring to do something about it. In my experience, I had very little trouble adjusting to the medication. Some dizziness in the beginning, but it went away after the first few days. I'm no expert, of course, but I am given to believe that yours is one of the more tolerable ones, especially at that dose, with mild side effects, if any. I know, it is intimidating. I was terrified when I first began. But Your Grace must remember that a prescription is not a penalty. It is there for your benefit. If the side effects are too much,
or you feel as though it is not working to your liking after the allotted adjustment period, you are allowed to discuss alternatives with your physician. It is no trouble listening to you, Your Grace. It's my pleasure, in fact. We will need to stop by the pharmacy then. Shall we pick up some lunch on the way home, or would you rather I whip up something for you? I confess, ever since you introduced me to that TikTok website, I have found a number of recipes that I am most eager to try on you. Oh yes, Your Grace, you've opened up a new world for me. In particular, I have found a recipe for beef bourguignon that I think you'll enjoy. I have seen a great deal of silly rot as well. Young people dehydrating gummy candies, or that silly trend of grating frozen tomatoes over burrata cheese and whole wheat toast. But there is a plethora of fascinating content on there. I never knew there were gourmet chefs whose passion was educating and entertaining others about food. It's all rather marvelous. I even left a comment or two that started some stirring discussions. What is that grin for, Your Grace? It's true, you know. You've quite corrupted me. Apologies. Excuse me. Just a tickle in my throat. That is to say, I never had much of an online presence before you set me up with your Discord app and showed me the ropes. I've simply never felt much of a need to use the internet, save for when I needed to make an online purchase or search for employment. I certainly felt no urge to join Twitter or Facebook. The way people describe them makes them sound like perfectly wretched places to spend one's time. But you have inspired me to branch out a little, shall we say. I've been enjoying myself a great deal, and so I thank you. Oh yes, please feel free to message me with more links. I should be happy to pursue them, especially if they pertain to your interests and preferences. I quite enjoyed the Jeeves and Wooster music video you sent me, by the way. I wasn't aware Your Grace enjoyed Doris Day. Did you think I had skipped it? Yes, I watched it this morning while I had breakfast. I even replied with a small image of a thinking face, didn't you see? It was meant to convey that I was scrutinizing your media most thoroughly, Your Grace, although I must admit I also chose it to express my puzzlement as to why you would send that link to me at 3:34 in the morning. I don't ask to scold you. It explains why you needed 3 espressos to sufficiently rouse yourself earlier. Might I suggest that you attempt to get some actual rest tonight? For my own emotional well-being, you see. I do hate to see you tired. Thank you, Your Grace.
Good morning, Your Grace. I'm sending you a recorded audio chat through our direct messages, as it will allow me more time to speak than on your voicemail. I fervently hope this works, as I've never sent one of these before. I find myself unexpectedly indisposed this morning. It's nothing to do with my epilepsy, I assure you, and I believe I should be able to return to my normal duties directly. Within a day's time, perhaps 2. I also wish to make it abundantly clear that I do not have a cold. I simply do not wish to risk you. I could not forgive myself if you caught anything. You will find your day's schedule in its usual spot on the refrigerator. Please feel free to contact me if you've any questions or wish to inform me of changes. You will find a variety of suitable meals to choose from in the freezer. I made a number of breakfast sandwiches, bisques, curries, and vegetable rice bowls just last week, so they should still be quite fresh, or you can, of course, order in, as you prefer. If you order your breakfast, please remember to forego anything with grapefruit in it, as it is a ghastly fruit that should be avoided. Also, it interferes with your medication, but that's rather beside the point. I'll be in touch. Please, have a wonderful day, Your Grace.
Just a moment, please. Shh, calm down, girl. What's made you so excited? Yes. Good.
Oh, Your Grace. What are you doing here? You're going to... Please, allow me to take those bags. Very well, Your Grace, if you insist. Goodness. What is all this? Tissues, night nurse, all-bus oil, blackcurrant lemsip, 3 kinds of lozenges. Is that a humidifier? My goodness. Your Grace. You bought out the whole pharmacy. You did not have to do this for me. I'm not that poorly off. It's not as though I have a cold or... I do not. It's just the dry air. I deeply appreciate the gesture, and I'm glad you thought to wear a face mask, but Your Grace, you really should... No, I don't really want you to go. I'm so glad you're here. Oh, I need to sit down. Yes, it is rather Spartan in here, isn't it? Not the best for entertaining guests. Just the sofa, I'm afraid. It came with the place. All my things are still in storage. I'll take them out when the time feels right. For now, this is adequate a living place as any. Would you like to sit with me? I should hate to make you stand for the entirety of your visit. Good girl. It's funny how Riley always likes sitting between us. Were it anyone else, she would be sitting on my feet right now. So protective as she is, but she's grown to enjoy cuddling up with you. Oh, such a good girl. If this place seems rather empty, it's because, for me, this is more of a place to sleep than anything. Your flat feels more like home. So much so that sometimes I unthinkingly attempt to open your door with my flat's key. Isn't that silly? No, it's not just because I handle your affairs there, although that does contribute. It's because you're there, Your Grace. Unprofessional of me, I know, but that is simply how it is. Oh, shall I make us some tea? Oh, Your Grace, please. I must insist. Threatening to dismiss me will not keep me on this sofa. Riley. I can't believe you've turned my own dog against me. A
cup of lemsip would be most welcome. Thank you. You'll find Earl Grey in the cupboard to your left. And biscuits, if you like. No, Your Grace, your left, not your right. You found it. My shameful secret. Yes, on occasion I indulge in a chocolate chip pu'er orange blend. I received a free sample of it one day and felt reluctant to let it go to waste. I suppose that began my descent into utter depravity. I do not keep that box with my other teas, for I fear that it is all I would ever drink if I let myself, so I save it for particularly trying days. Oh, it's especially decadent with a splash of double cream. Thank you. Wildly artificial tasting lemsip, but I find that's exactly what I require today. Sometimes it is a strange comfort to drink something distinctly medicinal when one's throat is feeling slightly dry. How are you enjoying your tea? I hope it's to your liking. Gracious. If you buy a box, its temptation shall madden me all day long. But who would I be to deny you anything if your heart truly wishes it? You encourage a certain amount of indiscretion in me. I wouldn't dream of doing this with any of my former charges. Well, they are not you, my dear. Thank you for visiting me. I was feeling rather wretched, this dry throat. I do fear that if I continue sitting with you like this, I may fall asleep. Highly embarrassing, not professional at all. If you do not mind, then... Perhaps, given our circumstances, you could call me James, when we are alone together, like this. Very good, Your Grace.
Hello, Your Grace. I'm sending you this voice note in spite of your Do Not Disturb Discord status, under the assumption that you are, of course, very busy and will listen at your earliest convenience. I hope that the past 3 days have passed pleasantly. I hope you've enjoyed this evening's supper. I'm pleased to inform you that I am feeling much improved, and I will be able to return to my regular duties tomorrow morning. I wanted to refresh your memory regarding tomorrow's schedule. You have a Zoom meeting with your therapist at 1:30 and an appointment with the eye doctor at 4, but otherwise you should have the rest of the day free to do as you like. In addition, I plan to retrieve your car from the mechanics and pick up your newest prescription later in the evening. I would also like to apologize. While it was good of you to think of me, and I deeply appreciated your kindness, it doesn't change that what I allowed to occur was unprofessional and most inappropriate. Rest assured, it will not happen again, Your Grace. I look forward to helping you get your day started in the morning. Please have a pleasant evening. So dark. Your Grace? You're still in bed. Are you unwell? It is almost 11 o'clock, and you have not yet rang for me. While it is a relief to hear that you did not catch anything after you visited me, you must pardon me if I remain less than reassured. Shall I turn on the light? No. As it pleases you, then, Your Grace.
Did something happen during my time away? I did wonder what you were up to while I was getting over my dry throat. When you did not message me, I assumed it was because you were simply unavailable. My mind painted vivid watercolors of you having a stroll through the wildlife sanctuary, perhaps, or browsing through art books at the library, enjoying my cooking that I had left for you. It was quite pleasant to imagine. Disappointed? Me? I'm rather the opposite. I am hale and whole once again, and I have returned to where I am needed. I could not be more content. The only thing bothering me is that I am exceedingly worried about you, my dear. No, please. Please don't cry, Your Grace. Pardon my forwardness, but I cannot stand to see you cry. Yes, all right. I will continue holding you, then. You must not say such vicious things about yourself, Your Grace. Please listen to me very carefully. Whatever it is you think you've done to garner my disapproval, I would not dream of ridiculing you. I am yours. From the moment you hired me, my entire raison d'être has been to help you weather the slings and arrows of your own misfortune. You must realize that there is very little I would not do for you, Your Grace. Here, I must insist. Dry your eyes. Now, use my handkerchief. Yes, these were a gift. My favorite aunt bought me several handkerchiefs for my birthday one year and embroidered little poodles in the center of each one. The real Riley is enjoying a piece of Himalayan yak cheese in the other room, if Your Grace is wondering. May I get you a glass of water? Or perhaps a cup of tea? One moment. Masala chai with 2 raw sugars. I don't think I've ever worked for anyone who was half as appreciative of my talents as you are. Now, if you are certain you are not ill or overly fatigued, please tell me, what is the matter? Oh, Your Grace, no. I would be a brute and a hypocrite if I thought any less of you for being too depressed to get out of bed. I'm only aghast that I could not be here for you when you needed me. It is hardly my place to criticize your father's erroneous opinions of you. But the more you tell me about him, the more pleasantly surprised I am that you were able to become the kind and tolerant person I've grown to know. There really is no need to be so hard on yourself. Setbacks are a normal part of any attempt at improvement. Perhaps this means some slight changes are in order to make your routine work better for you. Or perhaps it simply means you perform better with companionship. I understand that perfectly, Your Grace. So do I. Either way, you can always start again. A few skipped walks, fried cheese for dinner and 3 days of missed medication is nothing in the grand scheme of things. While I will stress that it is of utmost importance that you take your medicine regularly, allow me to remind you that it will be a few weeks yet before your body acclimates to this dosage, and I doubt you're in any danger of nasty side effects if you have some initial trouble getting into the habit. You are fine, Your Grace. This is hardly a bump in the road. Little lapses such as these will not erase all your hard work. Can you imagine if they did? I may not have recovered from my own maladies. I might still be ensconced in my old bedroom, despondent, Rileyless. And you and I would never have met. What a horrible thought. You have come very far, you know. May not seem like it right now, but you have, and I have no doubt that you will continue to do so. Would you care for more tea? If you do not mind me asking, was there perhaps something else troubling Your Grace? I just have a feeling. There is an itch inside me that has not yet been scratched to satiation. I have heard occasionally of clients who become inconsolable when parted from their valets for whatever reason. It's an understandable disruption of their routine. Suddenly they are all alone, with no one who knows their personality or everyday whims, forced to wrestle with decisions they are unaccustomed to even thinking about. But this morning seems altogether different. If I may be frank, you seemed unusually despondent when I entered the room. If there is something else yet unmentioned, I implore you to tell me. Your Grace, I have never considered the rapport we share to be inappropriate. Where on earth did you conceive such a notion? I see. Yes, that Discord voice note. It is no wonder you dreaded my arrival. I have given you an impression that is as terrible as it is untrue. When I said what I allowed to occur was unprofessional and inappropriate, I meant my own behavior, not yours. I am first and foremost your valet, Your Grace. I am duty-bound and expected to be courteous, dedicated, intuitive, and, most of all, reliable. I have worked for people who would have dismissed me on the spot if I so much as sniffled in front of them. I was ashamed that you saw me in such a state, and I felt compelled to say something that might renew your faith in my abilities. Alas, I'm afraid I phrased things rather poorly. But you must understand, your company is never unwelcome to me. You were a comfort beyond measure. Some may find that irregular of me, perhaps even questionable. But I don't care. I could never be ashamed of you. You are far too kind, Your Grace. I don't deserve... Well, if you insist that I have not failed you, then I will let the matter drop. Thank you, Your Grace. Your understanding truly knows no bounds. What a pair we make, trapped in miseries of our own making, all for no reason. Today, let us both focus on feeling better, Well, to start, I should be pleased if your Grace took a peek at today's breakfast. It is one of the new brunch recipes I wish to try out with you. Would you care to take it in bed or at the window? Yes, the bed does seem best for now. Would it be all right if I parted the curtains and let some sun and fresh air in? As imperative as this conversation has been, I would rather not continue it in the dark. I should not object if your Grace wishes to remain entombed in gloomy shadows. However, I beg you to consider the possibility that I may begin to miss looking upon your face as we talk. Very good, your Grace. There we are. Now, poached eggs, simmered in a sauce made of diced tomatoes, bell peppers, eggplants, and warming spices. I recommend taking it on top of some of the garlic bread, perhaps with a spoonful of Greek yogurt, if that is to your liking. It gratifies me to hear it satisfies your palate. I did not have occasion to have it for breakfast myself, but it smelled so enticing while I was cooking that I was sure it would be suitable. Your Grace? Oh, I couldn't possibly. Please, enjoy your breakfast. Very well. Oh, my word, that's good. The perfect runny egg. Thank you for sharing. The dish is called Shakshuka, although I've also heard it referred to as eggs in purgatory. Ironic, considering our morning chat. I'm simply glad we've succeeded in freeing ourselves from our respective purgatories. My heart feels lighter for it. Allow me to take your tray. You know, I half expected a rather different answer when I asked you if there was anything else on your mind. Your behavior led me to wonder if you weren't harboring unspoken affection. You spending 3 days in bed eating fried snacks was definitely a clue. But moreover, you have been distracted, restless, full of sighs and doldrums, and occasionally I will witness you gazing off at nothing with a sort of wistful desperation in your eyes. And then I'll ask you if you'd like your morning paper, and your face lights up like a sunrise. You're in love, aren't you, Your Grace? Well, as it turns out, so am I. There is only one solution to that I can think of. Shall we take Riley for her morning walk next? Perhaps in 5 minutes. Your Grace? There you are. I've taken the liberty of bringing you your breakfast. I do not sound like that. Come here. Thank you, love. You are so thoughtful. What time is it? 8:30? Good Lord, I should have been up hours ago. I suppose I did need the rest. We spent a rather vigorous evening together, didn't we? I am a bit embarrassed. I don't believe I've slept past 5:30 in years. But poor Riley, she's not been out yet. You took her out, Your Grace? Well done. Oh, don't discredit yourself, even if it was only to the backyard. That was quite a step in conquering your phobia. Yes, it does help that you've been diligent in practicing your commands with her. I imagine she would obey you as readily as she would me at this point. Thank you for looking after her for me. I see you've brought yesterday's post with the morning paper. Allow me to peruse it for you, Your Grace. Bill. Oh, a new Uplea Financial Premium Plus card. Delightful. Bill. And a correspondence from your father. I suppose it is around the usual time he sends you one of these, isn't it? Ugh. His last one was so disparaging toward the very concept of therapy. Would you like me to read it for you? That way, if he has anything important to say, I can simply tell you. Then it will be over and done with, and we can enjoy this lovely breakfast you've brought. Very good, Your Grace. I'm sure everything will be all right. Charity gala for lung cancer study was a success. Your mother is thoroughly enjoying her vacation in Greece. Your father has sent you tickets to visit home for the weekend. He wishes to introduce you to the scion of an up-and-coming biotechnology company involving pharmaceuticals. It seems he wishes to draw up a contract ensuring your eventual betrothal to this individual. He has rather poor timing, doesn't he? I will go with you on this visit, of course. One should never embark on a trying journey without one's valet, after all. Besides, he and I are well overdue for an in-person chat. Darling, I wouldn't dream of having you face that awful man alone. Not unless you asked it of me. I am here for you now more than ever, no matter what happens. Then it is settled. We shall set him straight regarding his erroneous assumptions of your self-sufficiency and personal interests, and then we can put the whole matter behind us. Later, I will draw you a bath and help you pack and make other arrangements. But for now, would you care to return to breakfast? I would not blame you if such news has irretrievably soured the mood and your appetite, of course, but pleases me to hear you say that, Your Grace. I would truly hate it if that man ruined what promises to be a beautiful morning. Am I correct in assuming that, thanks to the strides you have taken toward improving your anxiety and depression, this news does not feel quite as daunting as it may have been a few months ago? I'm so proud of you. I was wondering when Riley would come investigating. Hello, my girl. Were you very good for our Grace this morning? Do you mind if she hops into bed with us? I don't allow her to do it often, but I have an urge to make an exception this morning. All right. Riley, come on up. Oh, my goodness, yes. Oh, what a good girl you are for our Grace. Oh, what a good, smart girl our Riley is. Yes. There we are. Lie down now. You know, even after all this time, I still couldn't tell you why she's so fond of curling up on my feet. My word. An entire fruit platter. And they're all my favorites. When did I even tell you my favorites? Wait. I know these chocolate croissants. My dear, did you go all the way to Byerly's to procure our breakfast? I would have been happy to make us something, Your Grace. Truly. Thank you. No one has ever surprised me with a fruit platter before. Never mind one with strawberries carved into little roses. I don't know what to say. It almost looks too pretty to eat. You're spoiling me. Oh, no. Of course I don't mind. I may feel a trifle overwhelmed, but this truly is wonderful of you, and I am deeply appreciative. I suppose I'm simply not used to being on the receiving end. It's a dizzying feeling, being adored. With you, giving feels so much like receiving that I don't even give your reciprocation a thought. I must confess, this has left me feeling rather stunned. It is not an unpleasant feeling, I assure you, simply new. I was thoroughly prepared to keep my feelings for you under wraps for years, you know. For forever, if necessary. I would have been content simply to bask in the glow of your fond regard. Grateful, even. Now, everything feels so out in the open. It's exhilarating. Just having you smile at me like that, when you know how much my heart aches for you. So you must forgive me if I'm easily flustered when you pamper me. Please know that your attentions are certainly not unwelcome, not by any means. Thank you, my dear. Oh, Your Grace, you didn't. No, this is most improper. Chocolate chip orange puer with double cream is not a breakfast tea, even if it is my guilty pleasure. Very well. For you, I will endeavor to live a little. Wonderful. I must say, it does pair well with fruit and pastries. Oh, that That was quite a large stretch, my girl. Oh, yes. She may have a strawberry. They're actually quite good for dogs in moderation, rich in vitamin K and B12, and Riley loves them. I'll be sure to brush her teeth later. Oh, good girl. Was that yummy? Yes, Your Grace. I should be pleased to have one as well. I think, before this goes any further, I really should set out Riley's breakfast. Please excuse me. I'll only be a moment. Come along, girl. Just stay here, okay? Enjoy your breakfast. As a dear. Yes. You caught me. I did also wish for a little more privacy. Absurd of me, I know, when I'm wandering about the flat wearing nothing but my boxer shorts. But this way, I have you all to myself. Here we have baked salmon with lemon and dill, new potatoes, and sautéed broccoli. Absolutely abysmal. This new diet the bloody doctor has me on. No red meat until my cholesterol goes down. Atrocious. Shall I pour the red or the white? The red. Very good, sir. The white for me, please. I said we'll have the red, Jones. The white, please, Mr. Jones. As you request, Mr. Hartley. Thank you. I must say, it is exceedingly pleasant to run into you again after so long, Mr. Jones. Likewise, sir. Of course they bloody know each other. Please give the cook my fond regards. The salmon is superb. Yes, sir. I've been told you haven't visited the Aurora in weeks. What's wrong with you? Are you too good to play cards with your friends now? If you will allow me to take the liberty of reminding you, sir, I believe I already explained the reason in one of my earlier correspondences. It was decided that it was detrimental to our Grace's mental well-being to continue associating with toxic individuals. What earthly reason could you, of all people, have to avoid one of London's most prestigious casinos? I'm close friends with several of the Aurora's loyal regulars. Do you think that they do not notice when my only scion fails to show up for poker games with their children? Do you seek to humiliate me on purpose? I do not care how they treat you. You will need their alliances if you have any intention of actually making it in the world. Moreover, you know as well as I do that if I had not hand-picked a lot of them for you, you would do nothing but rot uselessly in your flat. I must beg to differ, sir. Our Grace has frequently enjoyed enrichment from local art exhibits at public gardens, wine and cheese tastings, strawberry picking, tulip viewing at Hampton Court Palace, and several trips to the British Museum, as well as to a number of delightful boutiques. This, of course, does not include the almost daily morning and evening walks about the neighborhood. Good Lord, does he ever shut up? Why did you bring your valet with you anyway? Did you forget we had help at home? I am simply doing what you hired me to do, sir. Should have known you would let him control you. Tulip viewings. It's only slightly less ridiculous than all that rot about therapy. And don't you make that pissy face at me, child. You know it's rot. You come from a long line of confident, resilient innovators. Tough as nails. If there's anything wrong with your mind, it's that you let yourself laze about and call it being depressed. I do hate to keep correcting you, sir, but I must vehemently disagree. A valet never controls. I have offered suggestions when necessary, but our Grace has proven tenfold to be anything but lazy. They are more than capable of making sound decisions concerning their mental and emotional well-being. You don't have a decisive bone in your entire body. It was always up to me to choose your schools, your friends, and now even your betrothed. But if someone didn't take initiative with you, you'd never amount to anything. Speaking of your betrothed, I have business matters to discuss with you. Your valet may leave the table. I'm afraid that is quite out of the question, sir. Excuse me. Our Grace has not asked me to leave, sir. I have asked you to leave. Did I stutter, sir? You can't be serious. Fine. Let the help listen in. By Monday, we'll be the latest gossip on every housekeeper's and gardener's lips. But I'll thank you to tell that one to keep his mouth shut while I'm talking. If that is what our Grace wishes, sir. I trust you've read the proposal. I think a September wedding will do nicely, as it coincides with the launch of the company's new data research center. What did you just say to me, you little brat? What do you mean? You refuse the offer? This is outrageous. What other prospect do you even have at this point? You've rejected everyone else I tried setting you up with. I rejected the filth you brought home to visit because they were unfit to be a part of this family. You ungrateful shit. Do you have any idea how hard I've worked to arrange this for you? The sacrifices I've made for this family. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Easily done, sir. Something that small could go missing anywhere. I mean, how long do you expect me to continue financially supporting you? How dare you talk to me that way? Very well, then. You forced my hand. I did not wish to say this to you, but you've left me no choice. If you do not come to your senses and marry who I tell you to, I'm cutting you off. Forever. I'm beginning to regret turning down that wager you made with me while we were on the train, Your Grace. Excuse me? We wondered if the subject of disinheritance would come up. I was adamant that he wouldn't be so unfathomably stupid. But then again, our Grace knows you much better than I. We came to the mutual conclusion that, should you disown your only heir to the family fortune, it is entirely possible we could make a reasonable case for your state of mind, sir. Disinheritances are not valid if the author is insensate. Insensate? How dare you? I'm no legal expert, of course, but I am an acquaintance with an excellent solicitor who dabbles in such cases. You would presume to threaten me? I wouldn't dream of it, sir. I'm simply stating the painfully obvious. I can see the outline quite clearly. The master of the house was a controlling narcissist who micromanaged his family's lives down to the smallest detail. He showed remarkable callousness regarding his family's well-being and was not averse to pulling sadistic pranks or using corporal punishments to get his way. As he aged, his health worsened, his heart and mind becoming increasingly unsound. Soon, his demands grew deranged, as well after he made several attempts to force his progeny into multiple unwanted marriages, finally resorting to threats of disinheritance if my client did not acquiesce to his wishes. It was only after my client moved away that they were able to finally explore life on their own terms. And it is clear that their health and happiness has flourished, thanks to their ingenuity and fortitude. I will not tolerate this. It is indeed noble to be aware of one's shortcomings, sir. but the sentiment stands. I am sure I am not the only witness to your indefensible behavior. After all, 'tis well known by many that you hired Riley and I as a cruel jape. What other bizarre scandals of yours will come into light? Your Grace, are you well? Would you care for more wine? Have I missed anything, dear? Inconceivable. This is absolutely ridiculous. You can't be in a relationship with your valet? What are you thinking, you degenerate? What say you, Your Grace? Shall I write up my letter of resignation, then? Get out of my house! With pleasure, sir. From the moment you hired me, I dearly wished we would become better strangers. Good day. I believe that just about does it, Your Grace. I have successfully brought all my boxes out of storage. I'm afraid it might be a trifle cramped in your abode until I have the opportunity to properly unpack and sort things. Thank you, love. While you were out, I had occasion to flip through today's post. There was a note from your father. Of course, it's no trouble to read it for you again. It's quite terse. He sends to say that he has amicably terminated my employment with him, which I was already aware about. He has also agreed to release you from your marital obligations. The rest is rubbish. I knew you could do it. No, Your Grace, I simply did what I needed to do. You did the difficult and crucial part. It pleases me to hear that I was able to help you feel brave. But I think that fortitude was in you all along. It just needed a chance to come out. No. I'm glad you don't mind it being a bit snug. It is cozy like this, isn't it? As though we were a pair of mice holed up in a rather crowded cupboard. The rest of the boxes can wait until I've recovered a bit of energy. No, I'm quite all right. Just a tad worn out. Nothing a day or two of taking it easy won't fix. For right now, I am content with setting up Riley's things and making do with a few essential items for myself. Oh, nothing grand. You've already seen my suitcase. I could not resist taking out my teapot. It looks so charming sitting on your stove. I have added a few spices to your cupboard, my kitchen knives. Oh, and this little thing I've been working on. It is a book of amorous coupons, Your Grace. In it you will find several slips I designed. They redeem back massages, matching breakfasts, fancy desserts, romantic outings, and bedroom activities, among other things. There are also several blank ones, should you have additional ideas of your own. You may, of course, always ask verbally for any of these things, But I wished to differentiate these fond gestures from my everyday acts of service. And, in addition, I thought a book would be a nicely tactile reminder of my devotion to you. You will also find a voucher redeeming a ring. It is not an engagement ring. That is for later, if you wish. This is a simple romantic token. Something to wear and think of me. The first of many such gifts, I hope. Is it to your liking, Your Grace? You're very welcome. Oh, I love you so.